Hey guys, Coding Wizard here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing how you can make your own pricing table using ACF Pro and CSS. So we're going to make something that looks similar to one.com. We can see here they have their Guru package, Enthusiast, Explorer, and Beginner. We're going to make something similar with the title, the pricing, a button, the key features, and maybe a secondary button at the bottom that says add to cart. And if you guys need access to the codes for all the videos that I've made, I'm going to drop a link to my GitHub in the description for all the videos, and you can go ahead and grab the code from there. So we're going to get straight into it. We're not going to waste any time. So let's go ahead and open up the file editor here. It's going to connect to the server. There'll be content on the strap child, and I'm going to want to make this on the homepage. Right, so the home page is kind of messy right now because we haven't done much with this on the last videos. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. And perhaps here we're going to say our packages or our hosting packages below. Actually, you know what? Doing H1 here. All our hosting plans are fully managed. Okay, I'm just cleaning it up here so it looks a bit cleaner so we can work with it. I don't need this. Okay, awesome. Great. Now, so this is where I want my pricing table to be. So before we get started with the coding, we need to head over to ACF. Field groups, let's add a new group. Since we may be doing a couple more things on the homepage, we're going to call this homepage. And down here, we're probably going to add a couple of sections to this in the future. So we're just going to make a new tab for this one. We're going to call it Hosting Plans section. Why not? Okay, so inside this tab here, we're going to have a repeater field because this pricing table has a lot of data in here. And we're going to be adding a couple of tables. So this one's going to be a repeater field. Field label, I'm going to name this hosting plans. So it's going to be my repeater. And inside the repeater, I want a couple of fields. So the first one's going to be hosting plan title. Second one, we're going to name hosting plan description. Third one is going to be hosting plan price. That's going to be the pricing. This one's going to be hosting plan button. Here we're going to have, okay, so we have the price button and the, okay, and the features. So the features, this has to be a repeater field because we're going to have more than one feature. So we're going to make this a repeater field and we're going to name this hosting plan features. And inside the features, we need a text field. So we're going to name this hosting plan features list. Okay, so it's well descriptive. In the future, if you were to come back on this after a long time, you're going to be like, okay, I know what this is. Or you can just comment your code or, whatever you want. And down here, we're going to have an add to cart button. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this button here. Actually, let me give this a name. hosting plan button 1 and hosting plan button 2. Now this has to be changed from a text to a link. And add link array, because we're going to have multiple data in there. And the same thing for the second one. Link array. Okay, let's hit save. Review this again. So we have our hosting plan title, hosting plan description. We have the price. We have the button, which is going to be our learn more button. We have the features, and we have the add to cart button. Okay. Right. So this place is almost done. Let's just set the page template to home template. Hit save. Let's sort of open up a new tab for the home page. And below down here, we can see all our ACF fields. And we're going to go ahead and just fill this out. So that way, when later on, when we're coding, we can see our content to start populate, just so that we know it's working. Oh, the hosting plan title. We're going to do the first one. We're going to call this bronze, plan description, startups, plan price $99. Do not worry, we're going to add the denominator later in the code. This is going to be the learn more button. Whoops. Hash, learn more, open new link tab. A lot of features in a second. This is going to be add to cart. Hosting plan features. Let's add a couple of features. So this one's going to be one website. One email. Then let's just say 10 GB SSD storage. And free support. Okay. So nice and simple. So now let's go ahead and add a couple of more. I'm just going to speed up this section here. Okay, so I've added everything here. We have a bronze, silver, and gold package. Go ahead and update this. We're not going to see anything on the site now because obviously we haven't done the HTML yet. So let's go ahead and get that started. I'm just going to expand this section here on the ACF screen so we can pull our fields accordingly. First of all here, so we're going to say this is going to be our pricing table. All right. Inside my pricing table, I want a div. Class going to be container. Inside my container, I want a section. Section class, we're going to call this hosting plans. Hosting plan, whatever. And I want the packages to be taking up the full width of the container. So I'm going to do class container. It should anyways, fluid. Now, word of advice, always give a class to your divs, etc. Because later on, if you, I don't know, you're debugging or styling and you want to touch the element, it saves you time from going back in the code and having to make these edits. But if you already have a selector, then it saves you a lot of time. All right, so that's why I'm always naming my divs. Okay, so we have a container fluid, and inside this, I'm gonna have another div. I'm gonna have this a row. It doesn't need a name there. Just a row is fine. And inside this row, I'll want a call MD12, I guess. And inside of here, this way I want everything else to start, we'll have a row here. So I would want my computer field in here. Repeater start. That's going to be the repeater for the repeater for the pricing tables. And then inside the pricing table, I want another div. This is where I want my individual pricing table. So it's going to be class call MD4. And I'll just name this hosting plans column. Should be good. And inside this, I want to make a div for each of them. So it's going to be class hosting plan box. Don't worry, this is all going to make sense in a moment. If you just think about it clearly, it's also going to make sense as well. Right, okay. So this is where our stuff's going to be inside. And I think we're good to go. Right. Before we get started, let me just quickly check something here on the front end. Test. Make sure it's working as expected. Awesome, okay. Right, let's go ahead and start the repeater. So I don't need this anymore here. It was just an indicator. So we're gonna start to filter through our hosting plans field. Was it plans or plan singular? Plans with an S, right. So we're gonna go ahead, do a PHP if have rows. Inside this, we're gonna do hosting plans. Bad. And then we're gonna do PHP while have rows hosting plans right. So this is perfect. So while have rows, and now I want to put my pricing table in here. So now we're filtering it. Now we're looking for, the number one that we're looking for is hosting plan title, hosting plan description, price, and well, the rest of this, except this one here, is going to need a second repeater inside this repeater. We're going to get to that in a second. So let's go ahead and put the first one, so the title. We can do a H3 for that one. We're going to do H3 PHP, the subfield. Don't know why it didn't autocomplete there. Anyways, hosting plan title. Semicolon. Right, so that's going to be a title. The second one we want a P class because we want our description in here. So we're going to PHP, the sub field, hosting plan description. I'm not sure why my bracket is not auto-completing here. That's why I prefer Visual Studio, probably because I haven't set it up properly anyways, this one. The pricing. So the pricing, we need to do a span class. So we're going to do an H3 and we'll do a span. And inside the span, we'll do class. I'll call it DM for denominator. Denominator. I always have problems saying that word properly. And I'll put it as a $sign. And then after the span class, we need the value of the field. So we're going to do PHP, their subfield, What is going on? Hosting plan, was it price? Hosting plan price. Okay, so we got our title, description, the pricing, and now we want the button to be here. So we're gonna have two buttons. We're gonna copy this button twice for the last button, and then we're gonna add a repeater in here. So let's go ahead and start this button. First of all, we need our A class. So we're gonna have a href, we're gonna have a target, because these link arrays, they require a couple of things to be filled in there. So we have our, we can put a class as well, because we're gonna need to style that button. So we're gonna call that button, just name it pricing button, BTN. I think that should be okay. So href, target, and inside of here, we're gonna need the title. So before we go ahead and do that, we need to define our button. So that way we can just use it everywhere else. So we're gonna do PHP hosting plan button equals get subfield hosting plan button. You can make this really short. You can do like hosting BTN or whatever. Actually, let's do it. Hosting BTN 1, right? Button 1. Just so we keep it nice and short. And then close this. So we have the href. We're gonna have to do PHP echo. Go ahead and copy this here. Hosting button 1. And inside of this, we need to have a URL. Done with that. Put semicolon. Okay. Same thing for the target. We're going to do, just to save some time, let's just copy this here. And we're just going to name this. Let me just minimize this here. And we're going to change URL to target. And for the title, it's going to just be title. Okay. So that's going to be our button. And right in here, we're going to have a repeater for the features. So we're going to copy this button again. This is going to be our secondary button, which is going to be our add to cart button. Just going to change this to number 2. Actually, I'm doing a mistake here. This is hosting plan button 1. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So that's done with. Before we go ahead and add the second repeater, I want to test that this code is working. So let's put this on the server. Has been a critical error. Right, okay. So it's because I haven't closed the loop yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to do PHP and while and PHP and if. That should fix it, unless I've made a mistake somewhere else. $sign is repeating. Why is the $sign repeating? I think the issue is coming from here. We don't have the row in here. So that should automatically make it repeat if you don't. No, if this is froze. Okay, awesome. Okay. It's working. Okay, awesome. Learn more Add to cart. Now this one has 2. And this is normal here, so we don't have the, so we need to learn more here and to learn more here. Obviously, once we style this with a bit of a CSS, it's going to look a bit better. So awesome. Okay. Now that I know it's working, we can go ahead and add the remaining field, which is going to be the repeater field here. So let me go ahead and delete this. And so it's a repeater inside a repeater, kind of like the accordion video that we made last time. So PHP if have, actually, you know what? Let's copy this here. Just like that. I want to be inside, so it's going to be here like that. So if have rows hosting plan features. Let's go ahead and replace it here. Great. And inside of this, we want to, let's do a p tag. That's going to be our features list. So we're going to do PHP. The subfield hosting plan plans, or is it plan features list. And all you need to do now is just end it like that. Just check this over. Awesome. Okay, I think this is perfect. Go ahead and save this, put this on the server. Check it out. Okay, great. Now the HTML part of this is done. All we need to do now is style this. So let's go ahead. In my previous video, I said you can use the customizer or whichever way preferable. But we're going to go ahead and use the inspect element here so we can see our changes live. So I'm going to make it nice and clean. I'm going to do hosting plans. So the first one was hosting plan. Right, so actually, no. This is the box that we want to style. So we're going to do hosting plan box. So hosting, it's not pulling, but maybe it's going to pull in a second. Hosting plan box, doesn't matter. First, let's do a border. 1 pixel, solid. Let's do black for now. Actually, what about? Okay, that's better. Right? Maybe give it a margin. 10 pixels. And a, let's see, do box sizing here for a second. Border box. And a line height of 25 pixels, maybe. Yeah. Text align. I want my text to be centered. Okay. Do a padding of 20 pixels and 20 pixels. Looking better, looking better. Okay, awesome. Now we want to style the, and again, you guys can play around with this. I'm just gonna quickly just go over this. You guys can style it the way that you want. So we want to style the pricing button. So we're gonna go ahead and type in, oh, there we go. This one's pulling out. So pricing button, let's do the border, 1 pixel solid of black so we can find it. There it is. And I'm just thinking right now, how about a padding of 5, 10, 5, 10. Looks sufficient, can be bigger. Yeah, why not? The font size of 15 pixels maybe. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, so do a font weight, bold, right? Text decoration, none. I do not want that underline. Great. And let's do, I'm not liking this color. It's a bit too bright. Light blue, no. Let me just pull out a color here. It's a bit light. Yeah, why not? Okay, it's a good color. What did they say here? Yeah, I do. Okay. So we have this color. Okay, so font size, font weight, border pixels. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We have a button. It's working. And then we can do we can even do a hover for it. Pricing button, hover, color. We can say it goes white when you hover over it, and the background can go black. So yeah, just like that. Okay, awesome. And that's it, guys. We're done. We are done with the CSS, we're done with the HTML and the ACF. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this here and refresh this page. And that is how you do an ACF pricing table with HTML, CSS. And I hope this has helped you guys. If it did, please leave a like and subscribe to my video for more future videos like this. I wish you guys a great day. Bye.